Let us talk about how you can conquer your fears and in doing so claim the future that belongs to you. Acknowledge your fear instead of denying it. Fear is not your weakness, it is a sign that you are standing at the edge of something important. The fact that your heart races, that your hands tremble, that your mind begins to question is proof that you are about to step into a space that has the power to change you. And yet, the mistake we make is pretending it's not there, shutting it down, pushing it away as if it doesn't belong to us. But the truth is, denying fear only makes it grow louder in silence. When you choose to acknowledge it, you begin to take back control over the very thing that seeks to control you. Think of a shadow. When it hides in the dark, it seems bigger, scarier, undefined. But the moment you shine a light on it, it loses its mystery, its power, its grip. Fear works the same way. The act of saying, "I am afraid," does not make you smaller. It makes you braver. Because honesty is the first act of courage. Fear is not a curse you carry. It is an invitation to look deeper, to listen to what your soul is asking of you. And acknowledging your fear does not mean surrendering to it. It means recognizing it, respecting it, and then deciding that it does not get to dictate the choices you make. Because fear has only one job: to keep you safe. But safe and fulfilled are not the same. Safe means you never risk, but fulfillment means you live fully, even if it terrifies you. Every time you deny your fear, you deny the opportunity to rise above it. But every time you say, "Yes, I see you, I feel you, and I will still take the step," you weaken its foundation. You remind yourself that you are human enough to feel fear and strong enough to move anyway. That acknowledgement, that self-confrontation is where transformation truly begins. So do not run from your fear. Do not bury it under smiles or distractions. Do not camouflage it under denial. Instead, sit with it, name it, breathe through it, and remind yourself that you are not defined by it. Because fear can only remain powerful if you choose to remain silent. Speak its name, and you'll see it starts to lose its control. Redefine failure as a teacher. Most people are not afraid of failure itself, but of what comes attached to it: the judgment, the shame, the voices of others saying, "I told you so." We grew up believing that failure is the opposite of success, when in truth, it is the foundation of it. No success story is written without ink of mistakes, stumbles, and setbacks. But because we fear being misunderstood, we avoid the very experiences that could refine us into who we are meant to be. Failure is not an enemy. It is a mirror. It reflects back to you the parts of your effort that need growth, the parts of your mindset that need shifting, the parts of your soul that need strengthening. If you dare to look into that mirror with honesty, you will see that failure is not designed to break you, it is designed to shape you. Every fall you experience is actually a rehearsal for standing taller than before. The people who never fail are not stronger. They're simply the ones who never tried. It is those who dare, those who risk, those who attempt, that encounter failure. And because they encounter it, they learn, they adapt, they transform. If failure was the end, there would be no innovators, no leaders, no dreamers who ever left a mark on the world. They all carried scars of failure on their path to success. Fear of failure, then, is not really fear of losing it, it's fear of learning. Because learning forces you to grow, and growth forces you to change. And change forces you to leave behind the comfort of the familiar. But isn't that the whole point? To step into a life greater than the one you've always known? Failure is nothing but the price of entry into the life you truly want. So the next time you fail, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What is this teaching me?" Shift your gaze from shame to wisdom, from defeat to discovery. Every failure you endure brings you closer to becoming the person who is ready for the success you dream of. Step into discomfort and grow through it. Comfort feels like safety, but often it is just a cage made of invisible bars. Fear will always whisper to you, "Stay where you are. Don't move. Don't risk. Don't try." And yet, The life you desire is never built in that comfort zone. It is always waiting just outside of it. Growth does not come when everything feels easy. Growth comes when your legs shake, your heart pounds, and your mind screams, "What if?" Discomfort is not punishment. It is proof that you are stretching. Think about it. A seed has to push against the soil before it becomes a tree. A bird has to push against the shell before it learns to fly. A human heart has to push against fear before it learns its own strength. If you never allow yourself to step into discomfort, you will never discover what you are capable of surviving and thriving through. And yes, the unknown is terrifying. The first time you speak up, the first time you take a risk, the first time you leave behind something familiar, it feels like stepping into darkness. But it is in that darkness that you begin to see sparks of your own light. Each moment of discomfort teaches you resilience, creativity, and faith in your own ability to endure. The truth is, the very things that scare you are the things that are most likely to grow you. If it makes your stomach turn, if it makes your heart beat faster, if it feels like a leap into uncertainty, it is often the path you are meant to walk. Because fear does not guard the easy paths, it guards the extraordinary ones. So don't be afraid of discomfort. Lean into it. Feel it fully. Allow it to guide you toward the version of yourself you haven't met yet. Because only when you step into what feels uncomfortable do you begin to step into who you are meant to become. Replace fear with faith. Fear and faith both ask you to believe in something unseen. Fear asks you to believe in the worst that could happen, while faith asks you to believe in the best that could unfold. The choice between them is the choice that shapes your future. When you fill your heart with faith, there is no room left for fear to take root. But when you let fear dominate, it blinds you from the possibilities that faith could have revealed. Faith is not about knowing the entire path ahead. It is about trusting that even one small step will lead you in the right direction. You don't need the whole staircase visible. You just need the courage to take the next step. Faith is not the absence of uncertainty. It is the decision to walk forward, trusting that the ground will meet your feet as you move. When fear grips you, it paints pictures of disasters, failures, and losses. But when you replace that image with faith, you start to see opportunities, victories, and blessings. What you focus on multiplies. If you feed your mind with fear, it will grow. But if you nourish your heart with faith, it will expand beyond what you imagined. Faith is choosing to believe that even if today is dark, tomorrow holds light. Faith is believing that your pain has purpose, that your struggle has meaning, that your journey has value. And faith does not erase fear, it simply makes it irrelevant. Because when you carry faith in your heart, fear may knock at your door, but it will no longer decide whether you open it. So replace fear with faith every time you feel paralyzed. Remind yourself that you are not walking alone, that life itself supports those who choose to trust. Fear is heavy, but faith is wings. And once you choose wings, there is no limit to how far you can rise. Take action, because fear cannot survive movement. Fear thrives in stillness. The longer you sit, overthinking, hesitating, imagining every possible outcome, the louder fear becomes. It whispers, it exaggerates, it convinces you that you are not ready, not capable, not enough. But the moment you take action, the moment you move, its voice begins to fade. Because fear cannot survive where there is movement, where there is momentum. You do not need to take a giant leap to silence your fears. Even the smallest action can shift the balance of power. A single phone call, a single decision, a single attempt is often enough to silence the noise in your head. Fear feeds on waiting, but it starves when you act. Each step you take becomes a declaration: I am stronger than the fear that tries to hold me back. And yes, sometimes your steps will not go perfectly. Sometimes you will stumble, sometimes you will fall, sometimes you will not get the outcome you hoped for. But even in those moments, you are still winning because you are moving. You are not stuck. You are not paralyzed. You are no longer at the mercy of fear, you are in motion, and motion is power. Action does something magical, it builds confidence. Every time you take a step, you create evidence for yourself that you can survive. The more evidence you gather, the less convincing fear becomes. Suddenly, the thing that once paralyzed you becomes a memory of something you overcame. Action transforms fear into fuel, hesitation into history. So when fear tells you to wait, move anyway. When fear says you're not ready, act anyway. When fear screams, "What if?" respond with, "Watch me." Because once you begin to act, you realize that the future you dream of is not waiting for perfection, it is waiting for you to begin. In the end, fear will always exist, it is a part of being human. But the way you choose to respond to it determines the direction of your life. You can allow it to build walls around your dreams, or you can use it as a stepping stone to climb higher than you ever imagined. The future is not reserved for those who are fearless, but for those who feel fear and walk forward anyway. Because every time you take one step beyond fear, you claim a piece of the life you were created for. Your future is waiting not in the shadows where fear hides you, but in the light where courage leads you. When you acknowledge your fears, learn from your failures, step into discomfort, choose faith over doubt, and take bold actions, you create a path that is stronger than fear itself. And in that process, you don't just conquer your fears, you reclaim your power, your voice, and your destiny.